So we'll be covering current affairs of February 2022, पॉलिटी एंड गवर्नेंस में है. पहले हम ये कवर करेंगे एंड देन वील गो फर्दर डू इट एंड वी विल बी डूइंग इट इन 3 days, राइट. सो या, पॉलिटी एंड गवर्नेंस फर्स्ट न्यूज. वेट अ सेकेंड. Yeah. So the first news is criminal laws amendment. Recently, Center has initiated a process फॉर कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव अमेंडमेंट्स ऑफ क्रिमिनल लॉज. तो क्रिमिनल लॉज के कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव अमेंडमेंट के लिए सेंटर ने कुछ प्रोसेस निकाले हैं इन कंसल्टेशन विद द स्टेक होल्डर्स. क्रिमिनल लॉज इन इंडिया के बारे में कुछ डिटेल्स क्या हैं. क्रिमिनल लॉज एंड क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर फॉल अंडर कॉन्करेंट लिस्ट. सबसे पहली बात तो ये कि इस लिस्ट में आते हैं. दिस कैन कम like this can be asked because लिस्ट में जो टॉपिक्स होते हैं क्रिमिनल लॉ एंड क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर, यू माइट थिंक इट्स अ सेंटर कॉन्सेप्ट और समथिंग बट इट इज़ इन कॉन्करेंट लिस्ट. While जो पुलिस है, prison है, they fall in state list. The laws that govern criminal laws in India are Indian Penal Code 1860, Indian Evidence Act 1872 and Criminal Procedure Code 1973. So IPC 1860, IEA 1872 and Criminal Procedure Code 1973. Need of amendment in criminal laws. Accommodate the evolving society. With changes in the society, perspective of the people and the nature of the crime, laws need to evolve in accordance with contemporary needs and aspiration of people. For example, although IPC enacted in 1860 was ahead of the time, it has been in India for 1.5 century and it was not kept pace with progressive time. So IPC was not kept in pace with progressive time, right? Recognize new crimes. The restructuring of criminal laws is needed as many of the provisions have become obsolete with changing economic developments and technological advances. हमें सबसे पहले क्या करना है, अमेंडमेंट्स की रिक्वायरमेंट क्यों है? बिकॉज कोई भी लॉ अगर स्टार्टिंग रहेगा सो इट कैन नॉट वर्क आउट बिकॉज द सोसाइटी इज इवॉल्विंग every single day a new change is happening in the world. Our perspective is changing. So yeah, तो हमें एकोमोडेट करना है इवॉल्विंग सोसाइटी को. रिकोगनाइज करने हैं न्यू क्राइम्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल क्राइम्स लाइक मॉब लिंचिंग, फाइनेंशियल क्राइम्स, वाइट कॉलर क्राइम्स, इकोनॉमिक क्राइम्स एक्सेट्रा हैव नॉट फाउंड प्रॉपर रिकोगनिशन इन द IPC. Simplification of legal processes. The agenda for government to amend this law is to fulfill the democratic aspirations of people and ensure speedy justice and simplify the legal procedures. Right? So simplification of legal procedures is the concept. Then remove ambiguity and vagueness. अपने laws में इतनी vagueness है, like we also have repeated laws which make it more complicated, right? For instance, distinction between culpable homicide and murder, ठीक है, is criticized for their obscure definition. Culpable homicide is defined but homicide is not defined at all. Homicide तो defined ही नहीं है. To give a fair share to individual. In criminal justice system, since an accused as an individual is pitted against the might of the state, criminal law must ensure that the state head does not take undue advantage of its position as a prosecutor. What are the major changes which are required in criminal laws? So, major changes required in criminal laws. First of all, criminalization of marital rape. Till now, marital rape has not been considered as a rape in India. Criminalization of marital rape has been long-standing recommendation of the Law Commission. Various committees and criminalization of marital rape has been demanded by many sections of the society. Right? So yeah. Gender neutrality in the definition of sexual offences under IPC. The language of the section relating to sexual offences need to be amended to a neutral gender rather than continuing with language relating to female gender because male can be the victim too. Amendment is language of section 124A IPC जो कि deal करता है with sedition law. The language of law is ambiguous and that is why even a simple dissent from the policies and decision making of the government may attract sedition charge. That is why amendment is required in the language of this section. Laws on custodial torture and death. A tough law is required over the topic as there is seen a rise in cases related to custodial torture. What is the way forward? First of all, what were the four things? First was marital rape, second was gender neutrality, third is amendment of language of section 124A of IPC due to sedition law, and law on custodial torture and death. A tough law is required over this topic as there is seen a rise in case related to custodial torture. Right? So checking forward, checking laws' relevance and enforceability. The laws which are outdated and not relevant in the present time should be identified and empirical research should be done for the same. The problem with enforceability of the provisions should be checked, accommodating new forms of crimes. To avoid duplicity and the confusion, separate chapters on new form of crime like cyber laws, economic offences, etc. should be added to IPC. Updated Act according to the report of Malipat Committee on Report of Criminal Justice System. These सारी committees are really very important. So yeah, Malipat Committee on Reform of Criminal Justice System, Indian Police Act 1861 has become outdated and a new Police Act must be enacted. System जो कि IPC इंडियन पुलिस एक्ट 1861 में आती है हैज़ बिकम आउटडेटेड and a new police act must be enacted on the pattern of draft prepared by National Police Commission. Recommendation of Law Commission. Taking DNA as a material or evidence, it is totally upon discretion of the court. Insertion of section 53A for protection of women at workplace. So recommendation of Law Commission यही है कि taking DNA as material of evidence is totally upon the discretion of court. Insertion of section 53A of the protection of women at workplace. It suggested the insertion of section 436A in Criminal Procedure Code for the release of under trial prisoners in the jail. To know more about criminal justice, fine. Recent landmarks क्या थे criminal justice law judgments के? There were many judgments जहाँ पर Supreme Court has tried to either give clarity regarding the sections of criminal laws as per contemporary times or play key role in evolution of section of criminal laws. Fine. So जैसे कि अमीश देवगन versus Union of India 2020 में in case of hurting religions, sentiments of community section concerned include 153B and section 295A. Landmark criminal law judgments. फिर अमीश देवगन versus Union of India 2020. In this case of hurting religious sentiments of community section concerned include section 153B and section 295A of Indian Penal Code 1860. Supreme Court held that it is important to make difference between free speech and hate speech. ठीक है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि हेट स्पीच और फ्री स्पीच को डिफ्रेंशिएट करना बहुत ही ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है. While free speeches does comprise right to criticize government policy, hate speech refers to spreading of hatred against a group or community. जैसे कि अपनी अनुराधा भसीन versus Union of India 2020. One of the issues in case regarding excessive imposition of section 144 of CRPC 1973. Supreme Court held कि section 144 CRPC cannot be used as a tool to prevent legitimate expression of opinion. The court further held कि section 144 CRPC is not only remedial but also preventive and shall be exercised only in case where there is danger or apprehension of danger. Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India. कि जैसे नवतेज सिंह जोहर वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया 2018 सेक्शन 377 ऑफ इंडियन पीनल कोड. इसमें क्या हुआ था कि आईपीसी क्रिमिनलाइज्ड कंसेंशुअल sexual intercourse between persons of the same sex for being against the order of nature. However, the court upheld the right to equal citizenship of all members of LGBTQ community in relationships between adults, whether same-sex individual or otherwise. Joseph Shine versus इसमें से ना कोई भी एक केस you need to remember. Joseph Shine versus Union of India 2013 में Supreme Court struck down section 497, right? And of IPC जो कि criminalize करता है adultery by treating a married woman as commodity on her husband. Court held कि जो provision है was based on gender stereotypes and hence Article 14 की violative, right? So these were the things. This was our first news. We'll